Lila stared at the suitcase, its worn leather mocking her fear. "Mom, I can't stay here," she whispered, voice cracking. Her mother, eyes glued to the TV, didn't respond. Lived-in silence hung heavy. For months, things had been off. Stolen glances from her stepfather, a tightening grip on her mother's smile. Lila felt unsafe, a cold dread gnawing at her. Tonight, it had finally spilled over. Ignoring the protest that wouldn't rise past her throat, Lila packed essentials. A photo of her real dad, a worn teddy bear, the meager savings she'd hidden. A lump formed in her throat, but she swallowed it down. Fear was a luxury she couldn't afford. Stealing out into the cool night air, she felt a flicker of hope. Her aunt, miles away, had always offered a safe haven. It was a long shot, but Lila had to try. She caught the last bus out, the city lights blurring into streaks of worry. The journey was rough, filled with nervous glances and tight knots in her stomach. But when she finally reached her aunt's doorstep, a surge of relief washed over her. Tears streamed down her face as she was pulled into a warm embrace. It wasn't easy, starting over, explaining the reason for her arrival. But her aunt believed her, and that made all the difference. Slowly, Lila began to heal. The nightmares lessened, replaced by dreams of a future she could build, one free from fear. The twist. Enrolling in a new school, Lila poured her energy into her studies. Numbers became a refuge, history a portal to different worlds. Fueled by a quiet determination, Lila surprised everyone, including herself. At the end of the semester, her name was announced, first position in her entire grade. Lila stood on stage, the weight of the trophy unexpected yet grounding. As the applause washed over her, a single tear rolled down her cheek. It wasn't just for the achievement, but for the strength she'd found within. The journey was far from over, but she had taken a giant leap. School became her sanctuary, her grades her weapon. Lila, the once frightened girl, was blossoming into a survivor, an academic force to be reckoned with. Life, however, had other plans. Alex, a kind-hearted boy from her literature class, found himself drawn to Lila's quiet strength and sharp wit. Their connection grew, filled with stolen glances in the library and whispered jokes during lunch. One sunny afternoon, under the shade of the old oak tree, Alex, heart pounding, knelt before Lila, a ring held aloft in a small velvet box. Lila's breath caught in her throat. Joy bubbled up, tinged with a familiar pang of fear. This wasn't just about saying yes, it was about sharing a part of herself she'd kept buried. Taking a deep breath, she looked into Alex's hopeful eyes and, with trembling hands, held out hers. "Alex," she began, her voice barely a whisper, "there's something you need to know about me." The following hour was filled with choked sobs and tear-streaked confessions. Lila poured out her story, the fear, the betrayal, the escape. Alex sat patiently, his hand reaching for hers, a silent promise of support. When she finished, a heavy silence settled between them. Lila braced herself for rejection, the fear of being judged a burden, a familiar ache. But then Alex spoke. His voice was soft, laced with a quiet strength. "Lila," he said, his gaze unwavering, "that doesn't change who you are. You are brave, intelligent, and kind. Your past doesn't define you. It's part of your story, a testament to your resilience." Tears welled up in Lila's eyes, this time tears of relief. In that moment, under the watchful gaze of the old oak, a seed of hope bloomed. Alex didn't just accept her past, he embraced it. And as he slipped the ring onto her finger, a promise glittered alongside the diamond, a promise of a future built on trust, understanding, and unwavering love. Months passed, and the bond between Lila and Alex deepened. But as Lila's confidence grew, so did her desire to confront her past. She began to receive cryptic messages and phone calls, reminding her of the life she'd left behind. Fear crept back into her life, threatening to overshadow the love and security she'd found with Alex. One evening, as Lila and Alex walked hand in hand along the beach, they were confronted by a shadowy figure from Lila's past. It was her stepfather, his eyes cold and calculating. "You can't run forever, Lila," he sneered, advancing towards them. Alex stepped in front of Lila, shielding her from the threat. His face was a mask of determination. "Leave her alone," he warned, his voice steady. A tense standoff ensued, the sound of crashing waves punctuating the silence. Just when it seemed like the situation would turn violent, sirens wailed in the distance. The police, alerted by a concerned neighbor, arrived just in time to apprehend Lila's stepfather. Safe once more, Lila realized that running wasn't the answer. With Alex by her side, she had the strength to face her past and reclaim her life. Their love had not only given her hope, but also the courage to confront her fears head-on. With the support of Alex and her aunt, Lila started therapy to heal from her past traumas. It was a long and challenging journey, but she was no longer alone. Alex stood by her side every step of the way, proving time and again that love could indeed conquer all. Years later, Lila and Alex stood together once more, this time in a courtroom. Lila faced her stepfather, her voice strong and unwavering as she testified against him. With Alex's support, she finally found the closure she had been seeking. As they left the courthouse hand in hand, Lila knew that she had not only found love, but also the strength to overcome any obstacle life threw her way. Together, they had rewritten her story, turning fear into courage and pain into resilience. And as they looked towards their future, Lila knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, united in love and unwavering in their commitment to each other.